There comes a time in every Bitcoiner's life where they have to ask the question, is this a real blast-off, or is it simply a pre-pumpulation that will end in continued nights of loneliness, despair, and smelly bed sheets? Guys, right now is Bitcoin attempting to initiate bull mode boosters and sploosh us all the way up to new all-time highs? Or are we simply hanging on by a thread before we plummet to the deep dark depths of massive dumpage? And is this Ethereum EIP rollout announcement finally being determined going to slowly shift Ethereum into a bull breakout that will make even the most adamant Ethereum haters turn into moon boys, moon girls, or moon boy girls? All genders matter. I am your host, Spencer SpaghettiOs, and on this channel we take the fun out of fundamentals, the blast out of blast-off, and the kadoosh out of splodoosh. Absolutely insane. So not only do we have some jaw-dropping technical analysis for you here today, but we also have some very, very big, much-awaited, much-anticipated news that I personally am very excited to finally see determined with a set date for Ethereum. Absolutely very big. As you guys know, I am a massive fan of a lot of these top altcoins, and you bet that includes Ethereum 100%. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and if you absolutely want access to these time-sensitive alerts that you only get here on this channel, make sure to hit the post notifications below. And for anybody interested in trading these markets, only if you have experience, only if you want to support the channel, and as I always say, I never trade more than 5% of my portfolio. Make sure to check out our links to Bybit and Femex below. But that is enough milking for one episode. Let's dive in. Goodness gracious, now this is guaranteed to wet your whistle. So if we start off with just the short-term charts for Bitcoin here on this 1 hourly chart, guys, we've just been trading between two of our key Fibonacci levels, and after getting a bounce at our latest one just roughly about 16 hours ago, we've breached up to the next level where we are facing that major test of this point of control VPVR level of right about 48,500 US dollars. Now, before we go any further, there's a very big takeaway of this, and that is Bitcoin's consolidation continues. And guys, as we all know, the longer Bitcoin consolidates, the bigger the world's most savage investment absolutely blows sky high. So if we switch to this 4-hour chart, this is speculative, and it's just something I think it's very important to watch as of right now, because again, we can't just factor in Bitcoin TA. We have so many factors going in right now. Right now we have the stock market, which Bitcoin's correlated to. We also have the DXY, which has been pumping, and we're going to be taking a look at that as well, which Bitcoin is inversely correlated to. We also have mining outflows that we need to be paying attention to. Tether, fundamentals, there are a huge amount of different factors that go into this. However, there are some technical patterns shaping up that very often do lead us in the right direction, okay? Technical analysis is never 100% accurate, and it's not supposed to be. However, it can give us a very, very, very good idea of what Bitcoin is shaping up to do. So, as you can see here, we do have this speculative, like, falling wedge type pattern, which we initiated a little bit of a breakout above, but you can see we came back, and so far for 5 or 6 4-hour candles, we actually held at not only the point of control but also the top of this speculative falling wedge here, which could be seen as a retest, and potentially are we actually maybe going to see finally that breakout to 56,000 US dollars. And again, that in my opinion is where the real test is, because if Bitcoin does have that breakout, as we've been saying for days now, this is going to be huge, because it will determine if in fact, if we get a breakout to that level, if we are going to hit that very next lower low that we've been mentioning, or if we can set a new all-time high, then it is very much confirmed that we are off to new, absolutely very high price targets, $60,000, $65,000, $70,000 per Bitcoin in the month of March. But it all depends on this next swing for Bitcoin, which we haven't gotten it yet. Okay, we've just been consolidating and coiling up for days and days now, actually multiple weeks now without a big move. So that is, we're just building in anticipation, because when the big moves come, they happen so fast. So you don't want to be left squealing and squinching on the sidelines when we finally do get the blast from the past. And as you can see on this 6-hour chart as well, currently we're just battling the 21 moving average here, just right above the point of control. Same story really. after getting rejected off of our key fib level. Again, right at about 52,000. 52 is a pretty big area. Again, if we break 52, I think we're heading up to like roughly about 56, but that I think is going to be where a big test happens. If we switch to Bitcoin here, again, guys, you can see as of right now, we're sitting above one of actually the most traded area for Bitcoin for the past month. So for the entire month from February 5th to March 5th, we've just been trading, or this is the most accumulated volume, which just means that this is where the most trading volume has happened for Bitcoin's price, right around 47,000 to, let's say 47,000 to 48,000. It's kind of like that big even area right there, and currently we're sitting ever so slightly above it. This represents a big area of support for Bitcoin currently, right? We've been building the support. Prior to this, obviously we didn't have any support here because we've only been above 48,000 for the past month. Prior to that, we were nowhere near that. We were, in the $30,000 range. But as of right now, we're just building the support. So very important for Bitcoin. Again, we're going to be coming up on weekend price action, which is usually very not reliable. So again, I think it'll be very telling what exactly happens there. Is the weekend maybe when we get a swing to 56K or our lower target, right? Potentially visiting that 50-day moving average. Very big, very inconclusive for Bitcoin at this point. But the momentum is indubitably building. And again, guys, 21-day moving average, we need to break above that. Right now, it's exactly at 50,000 US dollars. So yeah, 50,000 represents a very, very big test for Bitcoin in the short term. And holding above 47,000 represents a very big test for Bitcoin also in the short term. So we're just getting squinched and squeezed in a smaller and smaller range. And as well, guys, we did see a massive drop with the SPX, NASDAQ, a lot of major stocks yesterday. Currently, we're seeing a nice bounce, getting back above or testing currently that 50-day moving average, which is very important. If we go to the weekly, it almost actually touched on its 21 weekly. Last time we did that was back in November of 2020. So we'll have to see how this plays out because let's also be realistic here. If, let's say, for example, the SPX would do something like this, there is a very, very, very low chance that Bitcoin would be mooning when the SPX is dumping, if it did something like that. They're pretty correlated, and a lot of people have just been showing that. They've been correlated for a very long time. If you pull out charts of all of these indexes compared to Bitcoin, if they don't do well, Bitcoin hasn't done well historically. You can maybe make an argument on some shorter term time frames, but on these macro charts, if with this massive downswing that happened in February into March of 2020, Bitcoin did the exact same thing. It literally had the exact same pattern printed on here, and it's been recovering. Bitcoin's been more explosive than some of these indexes, obviously. But yeah, if these things absolutely collapse, there's a very small chance that Bitcoin would moon there. It's not a very big chance. It's much more likely that Bitcoin would also collapse. And something we've been looking out for months now, as well as the DXY potentially reapproaching that 93 range, that 93 region right about here. That's going to be a next big, very big resistance test for the DXY. Very significant support, potentially turn resistance going all the way back, over 6 years now. And yeah, so we've held kind of on this falling wedge here, and we're back above the 21 and 50-day moving averages. We're actually above the 21-week moving average for the very first time for the year 2021. And yeah, this is just a big accomplishment for the DXY in the short term. Again, I personally think overall this trend is going to be down. However, I think we have to wait until we approach this level here before we really make a decision or change our opinion on the DXY. So we have a fair amount of room to the upside that the DXY has to obtain first, and we're not very close to it yet. But yeah, it'll be very interesting. We have to watch the DXY here because, again, when the DXY pumps, Bitcoin usually dumps. It's inversely correlated, so we just have to be very careful with that. And this news has sent Ethereum fans worldwide screaming, ranting, and raving. This is very big. Ethereum's EIP 1559 fee market overhaul greenlit for July. So this is very big. People have been waiting this for a while. I believe 2 weeks ago they said they were going to have a decision by today. There is a decision. So this proposal has garnered some of the largest support to date from Ethereum app creators and users, not by the miners, however. They're not the biggest fans, given the current difficulty of selecting a correct transaction fee. Okay, the base network fee will now be burned on each transaction, potentially leading to deflationary tokenomics for ETH. Much needed, very big criticism of Ethereum. is the fact that there's no hard cap, right? Or, people criticize it, mainly Bitcoin maximalists criticize it for not being deflationary like Bitcoin is. And this is a huge step towards that. This proposal has been widely anticipated by nearly all members of the ETH community, investors, speculators, users of the network, and the analysis of network transactions last year found that EIP 1559 would have burned 1 million ETH over the course of a year. And earlier this month, research from ETF issuer Grayscale concluded that a deflationary mechanic will be a boon for Ether's price, creating a positive price feedback loop. And fundamentally, this is a big thing people that hold Ethereum and that are invested in Ethereum have been asking for and waiting for, and we finally have a definitive date here. This is one of its biggest issues, so this rollout should, in theory, be very, very bullish for Ethereum moving forward. And it lines up perfectly. This is, announced for July of this year, and as I've been saying, I personally think that the summer of this year is probably going to be maybe where we see the peak of this bull market, or a top before a month-long consolidation, aka pullback, before another top potentially in the fourth quarter of 2021. But overall, I personally think, and I personally expect, just based on the cycles and everything that I've been watching, that I think summer is going to be very explosive for the cryptocurrency market and altcoins specifically. And Ethereum taking the charge, in the altcoin explosion would be textbook perfect. It would be picture perfect. And again, this is just speculation, but just based on the cycles and everything, and then also this news added in for Ethereum, I think this summer is going to be a very bullish time for cryptocurrency. With that being said, currently we're only in March of 2021. So it could, it's ideally still a few months away before we start seeing massive alt mania. But I just personally foresee alt mania really, really kicking into high gear towards maybe late May, June, and July of 2021. Massive, guys. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. If you're interested in trading, make sure to take advantage of our bonuses below. And without any further ado, that's it from me. Bye-bye.